Hello everybody. It is Jackie from Pocket Preschool, and we are going to make winter dough, like Play-Doh, but instead of like regular Play-Doh, we're gonna make it with icing and powdered sugar. So this one's really fun. It's also like taste safe. So this is a great dough to use with kiddos or classes where they put a lot of things in their mouth. This one is a taste safe recipe. So I also have a lot of winter things. We're gonna talk about how you can add literacy and math into your dough. Also talk about other fun things you can add to your dough. So first you have to, I'm gonna put this aside, all the Play-Doh. Hold on, I'm trying to get spot so I don't knock everything over. So, one more time, okay. All right, rearrange for a second. Okay, so to make winter dough, what you're gonna need is, have it, you're gonna need a mixer, and you're gonna need powdered sugar and icing. So when I was, during the holidays, I noticed that my powdered sugar had expired. So anytime I have food expire, rather than tossing it, I usually bring it into the classroom, because if we're gonna toss it, we might as well use it in the classroom to play with. So, and it's just another great way to, like, you know, use what you have. So, first thing you need is icing and powdered sugar. So we're gonna make white. I may have had a couple bites of this already. Like, I went to the, actually I didn't, my kids did. You really go to the cabinet and like, figure out that something you thought was there got ate a little bit by your little munchkins? Yeah, because, you know, you grab things out of your house when you're a teacher. So, this is probably about 2 spoonfuls light, but just 1 tub of regular icing, and then it is powdered sugar. Now, this dough is a little bit messy, but that's okay. It's so much fun. So I'm just gonna add, not all of it yet. I'm just gonna kind of mix it in slow. Now, this is also, if you want to color it, I would color the icing or buy the icing colored. Like, I know they have blue and things. So, okay, hopefully this will reach. Let me take this out. Now, this is a dough you could totally make in the classroom with your kiddos. But obviously, because of the mixer, like, you want them to add all the ingredients in rather than having them do the actual mixing part. And as you can see, it's mixing so nicely. I forgot, all the links are at the top. So if you want more winter, like dough, sensory, snowman, winter, hibernation, all those things are at the top of the blog. So I'm just gonna mix this up. Now it's still sticky, so you need to add more. Now, on my blog last year, and I did a video of it, I made Valentine icing dough, which is really fun because, you know, it's Valentine's and you can make chocolate and it smells delicious, but it's also really fun. Oh my gosh, that's up too high. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is messy, which is why it would be so fun to make, like, as a class. Okay. I'm gonna mix it by hand a little bit first, because it's just kind of, as you can see, kind of going everywhere. But that's what's really, really fun about making things in the classroom, because guess what? When you're cooking, you're measuring, it's a lot of science, lots and lots of math because you're measuring. It's watching how things change, right? Like, so chemical reactions. Obviously this one, it talks about how it's a powder and then it turns into a dough. So I don't know how much my kids ate. So usually it gets doughy. I may have added too much powdered sugar, but I'm gonna use the mixer to see if we can save the dough, right? Because how many times in the classroom do you make something and it doesn't go exactly right? You just gotta kind of like wing it, right? Hold on, one more time. Sometimes if you use the mixer too, it mixes better. Hold on. Okay. So my dough is too dry. So don't worry, I have extra. So all I'm gonna do, and this one, so I had white, and this one's like just a vanilla. So I always have extra of ingredients as I'm making things in the classroom. Oh my gosh. So that way, if it goes awry, or somebody dumps it, or it falls out, or you turn on the blender too high, whatever, it still works. So I'm mixing it with my hand, which is so fun and very sticky. So what you can do also is once you have it mixed, obviously you want to like pass the bowl around and let the kids, you can have them mix it by hand, like give everybody kind of a turn. Oh my gosh, this is so messy. Okay, so I'll put the recipe at the bottom because I thought I remembered what it was. But that goes to show you should always look up the recipe, even if you think you remember what it was, right? Okay, so, oh my gosh. Okay. So, hold on. So, oh, also, see these really cool trays? I found some really cool new trays on Amazon. They're like the Target ones that we all love. They're shiny, but they're really big and the same size. So after this, I will drop a link to that. So, okay. So, if I would have measured my ingredients correctly, it would be all dreamy and amazing. Oh, here's a trick. If you ever have kids and they have sticky Play-Doh, if you rub it together, it all like falls off. So that's a really good trick. If all of a sudden, you know how you get Play-Doh and it turns sticky? It's the best trick ever. So I have matted my dough. Now this hand is gross because I needed it. Now in the classroom, I'll put the correct measurements, but I think it's like 2 parts powdered sugar to 1 cup icing. So lesson learned to always look up your ingredients. So it's really not sticky once you get it all, but look, it kind of feels like ice cream. Icing dough does, and it smells amazing. Again, it's taste safe. Now it is a little bit messier. So it is gonna be a little bit stickier, but I have ideas for you guys. So you have your dough, right? Oh my gosh, it smells so good. So what can we add to our dough? So if it looks like snow, right? So you can add, since it's icing dough, you can add sprinkles. Now, I like to give each kid some dough and then they can push the sprinkles in. Because what am I doing? I'm doing lots and lots of fine motor, and obviously each kid won't get this much dough, right? So they would maybe get like this much dough. And you can have everybody roll it up like a ball, because rolling a Play-Doh ball is tricky. So they can roll it like a ball, or you can have them roll it on the table. And sometimes I feel like, especially too, once we get to kind of second semester, some of the things that we think they know or are able to do, maybe they forgot because, they're little learners. So maybe we need to kind of reteach how to make a Play-Doh ball. So this is a great kind of thing to do, a small group. So you can make the dough and then give everybody a little ball, and then you can have them roll their snowball and then roll it on the tray, and then they're gonna smash it like a pancake. Smash, smash, smash it like a pancake. And some kids, how they stand up to smash it, which is great because now they're using their upper shoulders. So when they smash it, then what you can do is you can have everybody hold out their hand and you give them a little bit of sprinkles. These are just some I grabbed from Walmart. Now, if all the winter stuff is kind of gone in your area, because I feel like it switches to Valentine's Day so fast, just grab some blue. And then what they can do is they can smoosh it in with their fingers. And they're going to smoosh, 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 smoosh. And it's so fun. And look at all this great, they're having to push. And then you can tell them they can fold it like a taco. And then they can roll their ball again and squeeze it. So squeeze, squeeze. And what are we doing? We're strengthening all of our hands. And again, this dough is a little bit messier than regular Play-Doh, and that's okay. But if this isn't your jam, I get it. But try it. You never know how much fun you're gonna have. Now, see what I'm doing? So you're gonna, as I'm talking to you, you wanna say, okay, if there's any sprinkles on your tray, take your ball and roll it like a steamroller, or roll it and smoosh them, or they can also smoosh them this way. And so the sprinkles will stick in their dough, and then you're gonna roll it in. Now the sprinkles, so these have like some, I don't know if you can see, they have some like bigger snowflakes in them. Oh, here's one that fell out. So if you have bigger sprinkles that you're adding to your dough, they will kind of pop out a little bit, but that's okay. Because you can see on here, like some of the little balls are the little sprinkle balls. But again, it's so fun. So now that we have our dough, okay. And again, when you make it with your class, follow the recipe. Don't just eyeball it like I did, because as you can see, it doesn't always end up good. I think it's because my own kids ate some of the icing, but it's fine. But oh my gosh, you guys, it smells like vanilla. It smells so good. So it's gonna awaken that sense of smell, and we have our beautiful dough. Now, what can we do with it? So, oh my gosh, I got like icing on my face. So there's a couple of things you can do. You can use it like with a regular Play-Doh tray, right? You can put out tools. Now, if you're like, this is really sticky, Jackie, like, no thank you. So what you're gonna do is, I usually for a Play-Doh tray, I grab all of my tools. Well, if you're like, no, that is too messy, I can't handle that, or maybe you don't think your kiddos can handle that, it's totally fine. What you can do is put out silverware and some tools that you know won't get kind of gross. And I typically grab the tools that match the dough. So grab the tools that you think your little learners will like. And again, you can always just grab like plastic silverware. Now, when they're using plastic silverware, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna practice cutting, right? They're gonna practice poking. And what are they doing? They're practicing using utensils. So if you put in a fork and a knife, then they're gonna be practicing cutting. So when they go to eat, they will know how to use those utensils better. So when you add those utensils, what are they doing? They're doing fine motor and practicing those self-help skills, which is eating and using utensils. So if you're like, I don't want all my stuff to get gross, put in plastic utensils. I love like little pizza, like dough rollers. Those are fun. You can also, my tape is coming off. Play-Doh scissors are great, so they can cut. So all my scissors, even my Play-Doh scissors, have a little piece of tape. Now, if you don't have Play-Doh scissors, it's fine. Put regular scissors in. It's totally fine. You just wash them in the dishwasher if they get gross. But look, if you have kids who don't like to cut, put some scissors out and you can cut your snow. So we can cut. We can use the utensils. What are some other things you can do? Think about the manipulatives you have in your classroom. Maybe you have these snowflakes from the light table, so you could put out those. Maybe you have these icicles. Now, you know one thing I do love, and I always love, are cookie cutters. So if you have cookie cutters, and I always like to have different sizes, so then they can smoosh it together. And again, you can put out a rolling pin, or they can just smash. That works too. I grab all the blue things, the blue or the winter color things, and then they can make their snowflakes. And they can peel it away and look at their little beautiful snowflake. Now, if you don't have these that they could like put on top, what else do you have that's blue or wintry? Maybe you have these gems. Those would be fun to put out. Maybe you have some of these gems. Those would be fun. Do you have any mini erasers? Those would be fun. Do you have some little trays? Those would be fun. So let's make the Play-Doh tray together with you guys. So, I have my Play-Doh tray. Sorry, a little itch on my ear. Oh, hold on, I'm gonna put these over for later. So we have some snowflakes, and maybe you have some blue gems, and maybe you have some clear gems. So fun. Maybe you have some cookie cutters, and then you have your tools. And again, they're gonna get a little bit messy, and that's okay. And then what I would do is I would take your Play-Doh, and you know those like zipper bags, which of course I forgot to grab one. I usually keep the Play-Doh in a zipper bag, and then I keep that in the zipper bag in the middle. Okay, we're gonna pretend like this is my Play-Doh tray that I would put out in the middle. And again, you can put this out once you guys have made the dough, or you can put it out the next time you want to use it. So we have our cookie cutters. You can also put out like a snowman. So fun. So we have our cookie cutters, we have our dough, we have our icicles. I have big ones and small ones. And then you can add your gems. You could also put in little mini erasers. Let's see what I got. I'm gonna grab some mini erasers. These are like little, they're like little penguins and snowflakes. Now look, do you notice like I don't have like a bazillion? Okay, these are probably, this is probably too many. We're gonna put those right here. So, you don't, everything doesn't have to be like crazy full. Now, if you don't have all these things, just look around your classroom and see what you got. Also, I always love adding little cupcake liners. So if you have some of those, you could put those in there. Now, if I put these in there, I would probably take something else out. Okay? Now, maybe you don't have some of these things. So what can you do? You can put in pipe cleaners. So these are probably a little big. So what I would do is I would cut them in half. Ooh. So do you have in my like supply closet, I have like a thing of pipe cleaners that's like random ones that I have used for something, or maybe I didn't end up using them, so I don't have to put them all back. So it's kind of like a little jar of random ones. So I just grab some from those. Ooh. And you can cut them small, you can cut them big, you can cut them all different sizes. So let's say maybe you don't have these snowflakes. No worries. We don't want to go out and buy all the things for our classroom because our kids love whatever we put out. Look, that's just as fun and engaging as the other things. And these are just like the sparkly ones. Again, you can have them big, you can have them small, whatever you want to do. Okay, so we have our Play-Doh and we have our Play-Doh tray, and it's so fun. So I'm gonna pretend like I'm a little kid, and they can make little, the little snowflakes. They could make a winter cupcake, so they can make it in a bowl and they can smoosh it in there. Maybe they're gonna pretend these are candles, or maybe they're icicles, whatever they want them to be. But how much fun is this? And look at all of my fingers. Lots and lots of fine motor work, lots of problem solving. If I have this tray out, I usually have about, a small group of kiddos share it. So now we're sharing supplies, we're sharing space. And maybe they're gonna put some sprinkles in it. Also, beads would be really fun. Like, so fun. They have a little winter cupcake. Or maybe it's like an icicle. Maybe your kids are really into the movie Frozen, so maybe they'll pretend it's something like that. I think I just got it in my hair. And look, when they are cleaning up, what are they gonna have to do? They're gonna have to use those fine motor muscles, and all of this helps make a very strong pencil grasp. And you can see this is a messier dough. So just know going in that it's gonna be a little bit messier. So you can also tell your kiddos like, oh, if your tray is messy, either go put it in the sink or have them stack it up or something so they don't kind of go put it away. Or maybe you have a kindergarten class, you can teach them how to shake it over the trash can if you have a big one. Or maybe you wanna do that, it's totally up to you. Or maybe they're just going to make things, right? Maybe they're just going to use the cookie cutters and smush and press. And because guess what? They can use their imagination and they can make whatever they want. Did you hear that crunch? That means I crunched a sprinkle. And again, it smells delicious. Lots and lots of problem solving. So many fun things. Maybe they have their little snowflake, or maybe they're gonna pretend this is an iceberg and their little penguins and polar bears are on the iceberg. Like so fun. So again, but use whatever you have that's wintry. And again, this doesn't have to be this full. It can be that full. It doesn't have to be overflowing. So we have our little snowflake. So one other thing you can do. So let's say you have this out and you already made your dough. Maybe you want to use it the next day for a small group, but maybe you want to make it math because maybe if you live in Missouri, it's very cold, or maybe you live, you know, in up north-ish, or I guess like everywhere is getting snow right now. And maybe you want to do a small group, but they need a lot of sensory input. So you're going to do small group, but we're going to make it math. So you're going to use your same Play-Doh tray, same snow dough that you made like yesterday or Monday. This dough, I would say, lasts about a week-ish or so. Grab some number cookie cutters. And what they're going to do, let's see. We'll use 2. And they're going to make number cookies. So they made their numbers. So I have number 2. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to put 2 things in it. So maybe I'm going to have 2 gems. And maybe I'm going to have 2 icicles. And maybe I want 2 penguins. So I have 2. And maybe I'm going to put my penguins on top of my gems. Maybe they're going to slide all around. So we're identifying the number and now we're counting. Or maybe you could also do it with letters. So you could have the letter cookie cutters. They can make the letter and then maybe they're going to trace. We're going to pretend like, or maybe here, let's do this. So pretend like we have, instead of numbers, maybe now you want to make it literacy. So I have an L. Again, you would use your letter cookie cutters. But we're going to pretend like I have the letter L. So now maybe I can trace it with my finger. I can make it with icicles. So you would want to have long and short. They can also curve them. Or maybe they're going to then make their letter cookie cutter with the little things you have. So now we identified it, we made it, or we picked our cookie cutter, we identified the letter, we talked about the letter sound, L, lion, lamb, and you can have them go around. And now we're going to build it, or they can make it. Okay, because in the wintertime, if we're not getting outside, our small group is going to need to have more things that are more hands-on, gives them more sensory input. And this is also some great heavy work. So you can use letter and number cookie cutters to practice letters or counting. And again, remember this dough is a little bit messier than your normal ones. So that's okay. Now, what's something else we could do? You could also put out trays with it. So this is one I found at the Dollar Tree. You could also, if you have some poppets that are winter colored, you could put those out. You could also, maybe you have some like ice cube trays. Again, use what you have. So what they can do, and it's so fun, they are gonna take a little bit and they can smoosh it in there. Smoosh, smoosh, smoosh. And they can, again, look, I'm pinching off a piece. I'm pinching off another piece, and then they're gonna smush it in there. And then maybe they're gonna smush it in there again. And maybe then they're gonna put a gem on the top or something. And then they can push them out. And then we have a little penguin-ish thing. Or again, if you don't have one of these, again, use whatever you have that's blue, purple, white, silver. Just look through your closet. And again, if you have poppets, that works too, because they like to smush it in the poppets. They can fill it up. Or maybe they want to, my kiddos, when I would put poppets with Play-Doh, a lot of times they would roll like a Play-Doh snake, and then they would cut it. And then sometimes they would cut the piece again, so they would put the little pieces inside the poppet. And they can do that too. Again, it's open-ended, so they can kind of do whatever whatever makes their heart happy, wherever their imagination takes them. Maybe their friend does something, and maybe their friend is doing something, and they're like, oh, let me help you fill up your puppet. And maybe they're both now working on one tray together, working collaboratively to fill up little poppet with all little snow. Or maybe you have these, or again, regular ice cube trays work, and they can push it in. And then if it gets stuck, no worries, they can push it out. It's so fun. So again, use trays, that works too. This is, Play-Doh trays are also a great way to start your day. So it gives them sensory input. It gives them something hands-on right away when they walk in. So it's a great way to start rather than doing like a worksheet or something. So, you ready for more ideas? So we got our snow dough. And again, there's more. It's so fun. I'm gonna make it really big. Get a bigger piece. So we have our snow dough. And I'm gonna smush it into a big, and give everybody some, and they maybe tell them to make their big snowball. So now we are going to you can either do a name activity or a letter activity with this. So grab your letter beads. These are from Learning Resources. I don't work for them. These are just my favorite letter manipulative next to like magnet letters. And these are actually, these might be my favorite over magnet letters because I use them in Play-Doh and all the things all the time. And sensory tables. So you're gonna get these out. Put this away for a minute. And so now you can have them make their name, or they can also match letters. So we'll do a couple different levels. So maybe you have little like 3-year-old and say, I want you to find letters that match. So M, mom. And then say, so I want you to find all the letters in here that you can find that match. H. And they might, sorry. Okay. And then my phone rang. So then what we can do is maybe they can find more that match. So G, 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 not K, sorry, G, wrong letter. Okay, so they can find letters that match. And look, when I'm pulling these out, you guys, look, there's not really anything on them. Okay, so we're gonna squish this over and then say, okay, so maybe you have 4-year-olds, and maybe they are really good at identifying letters, or maybe this is the upper, maybe you have 3s and they know a lot of their letter names. So now what you can do is you can say, okay, I want you guys to spell your name. So S-A-M. So Sam, S-A-M. And then when you take them out, what's really cool is there's like a little like letter impression of them. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see. Can you see it? So fun. Okay, so they can make their name. Now you can also get out name cards for this. And then once they make their name, you can put all the name cards out in the middle of the table so they can make their name, and then they can make their friend's name. So that's really fun. Now you could also do this with sight words. You can do this with any, maybe you could do this with vocabulary words, like all your winter vocabulary words, or maybe your snowman vocabulary words, so they can make their words. And they don't need this much dough. They can always use, like, give everybody this much, and then they can smash it, and they can make their snowball. It doesn't have to be a ton of dough, because sometimes if you give kids a big ball of dough, it's a lot of them. It's harder for them to manipulate a big ball of dough rather than a little ball of dough, because when they're smashing a littler ball of dough, it's easier for them because there's not as much dough for them to move with their little fingers. So it's okay if like everybody only gets like this much dough for their, again, it's a messy dough, this much dough for their snowball. So like so fun. Okay. Now, what other letter manipulation you have? I have these are numbers. Sorry. I have these letter gems that I made for my light table. Let me see if you can see them. So they're just the gems, but I wrote letters on them. So you could also use those in here. That works totally well. Works really well too. So there's so many things you can do with snow dough. Again, you take icing and powdered sugar, you mix it together, and you have snow dough. You can add sprinkles. If you don't have sprinkles, also you can always add glitter, like all the different colors of glitter. You can add that to your dough. You can also, I don't know if you guys saw this, you can also, if your kiddos like making ice castles, they can make ice castles, and they can use the snow dough for kind of like the mortar. It doesn't stick like Play-Doh though. I think it's because of the powdered sugar. So if you look, it doesn't really stick, and it doesn't stick like you would think. So if your kids get like frustrated really easy with like the dough not gripping things, this probably wouldn't be a good one. But if they are just, you know, if they love just kind of like building and making things, they can make like little balls on top, whatever you want to do. But just know they can also make ice castles with those cubes that you have. And these are just those reusable plastic ice cubes. Now, also, if your stuff gets messy, drop some. So let's say you're doing this and you're like, okay, these are all gross. Like, I don't want to put these back in the container. No big deal. Get a strainer. This is just a regular old strainer. Have everybody put whatever manipulatives that they've used in the snow dough. And, you know, or maybe you're like done with the Play-Doh tray for the end of the week. Like, take all of this and literally take all of it, mini erasers and all. And these you could either keep or you could pitch them depending on how nasty they are. And then literally take this over to the sink and use this to wash it out, because look, it has little holes, so you can like rinse the first one, put it over the side. But look, once you get all the big stuff out of the way, look, you can wash all the little stuff, get all the yucky stuff off of them, or what little clumps there are, get them all clean. You can literally take this, they can dry in there as long as there's not too many, or you can like put it on the tray and like let it dry over paper towel. But this also helps it so it doesn't go down in your sink and you don't clog your sink. I have totally done that before. When I was first teaching, I didn't realize how much stuff was going down the sink, and our sink got stopped up in our classroom. And when the plumber came, so many things came. There was like paintbrushes that came out, so many like little things. He's like, I have no idea how like you had any water going through this, because the amount of like little treasures he pulled out of the sink, because they just got down and went down the thing. So use a strainer to help you clean all of your things out. But try making snow dough in your classroom again, and I'll put the recipe down. I'll get the exact measurements in a minute. So check back in like 3 minutes and it'll be, or if you're watching this as a replay, it's in the thing. So icing, powdered sugar, sprinkles if you want, and now you have beautiful snow dough that smells delicious, and it is so fun to play with. And again, you can use also, if you have like a container of blue icing, or you can add like food coloring to the icing, make it whatever shade of blue or purple that you want, and then add your powdered sugar, and then you would have colored snow dough. So, or maybe glacier dough, or whatever you want to call it. So I hope you guys loved all of my snow dough ideas. If you need more ideas for all of your winter themes, please hop up to the top of the post, and there is a link to the blog, and it will get you all of the winter things like winter oobleck, winter butcher paper, winter light table, winter math centers, STEM, all the things. So go up to the top, click the link, and check out more ideas. Otherwise, I will talk to you guys soon, and thanks for watching. Bye.